It is time to get into tonight's show. Please be sure to hit that follow button, that subscribe, that like. If you're watching us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, please share this live because y'all don't want to miss this dope discussion. Let me just take a moment to introduce this queen that's on the platform with me tonight. Her name is Jennifer Mason. Jennifer is originally from New Jersey, but now resides in Raleigh, North Carolina. She is a life coach. She has an ebook on healing, a dating guide that's out there, and she also offers a dating boot camp. And this boot camp is called the Dating Code, okay? For a nominal fee. Listen, she got to get a coins, okay? And I'm not mad at her. She is an author. She has two books. Her most recent book is Pressure Lessons in Love versus Toxicity. She has a podcast as well. Her podcast name is I'm Single, and So What? And she's been featured on several magazines. Welcome, 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 Jennifer Mason to Damn Shame Podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here tonight. IG,
I'm
can
happy to
you
be here.
thumbs up if you can hear Jennifer? We want to make sure that you don't miss out on this discussion. And as I go into the intro tonight, hit a thumbs up if you can hear Jennifer tonight. The intro, look, we have so much to unpack. Okay. Finding the right person can be so extremely hard at times, right? But people find themselves single because of life experiences that have shaped their individual paths. Some of us, like your girl KiKi, are divorcees. Some have ended long term relationships. Yeah, we love Jennifer. Yes, we do. Some are serial daters and others are serial monogamous. In all cases, the common thread is that we all want to be happy, healed, and fulfilled, right? As we navigate through our singleness. But here's the question of the evening that we're going to unpack. Can we really, truly be single and satisfied? Or does our subconscious self want more? Do we desire more? So, Jennifer, thank you so much for being here on Damn Shame Podcast. Let's get started. Let's unpack this. What are your initial thoughts about tonight?
Whew. Can you be single and satisfied is something that I really am passionate about because I have been the single and unsatisfied woman. I've been the single and satisfied woman. I've been the single and kind of in between woman. So this is a topic that I'm very passionate about. And my community will let you know that I try to encourage them to find their identity outside of their relationship status. That's
Yes.
to me how you really become satisfied.
Yes, 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 and that's so important. Shout out to you uh, for making sure that we know about your platform. It is Single Ladies Notes. If you
Mhm.
don't know, now you know. Be sure to follow her on Instagram. Are you Single Lady Notes anywhere else?
I am Single Lady Notes on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram.
Twitter, TikTok, and
Facebook
Instagram,
and
Facebook
Instagram.
and Instagram. Single Lady Notes. Be sure to follow her if you're not already following her. So Jennifer, for those that are newly single or have even been single for years, do you think that we as singles are spending our time wisely? Are we doing the right thing being single?
Not a lot of people are not. They're not.
Mhm.
And that's just me being honest with a lot of the conversations I've had
Okay,
over the
IG is
years.
saying that they can't hear you. So let's try to go off of mute and see how this works.
Okay. Can you guys hear me now? Sounds like there might be a little bit of an echo, or are we good?
It is, but I want IG to hear because they're like, we can't hear Jennifer. We can't hear her. And we gotta be able to hear her. So let's work it out.
Okay, it sounds like we got one yes that they can hear me. Somebody
Okay.
said better. Yes.
Good,
Okay.
good.
All right. So yeah. Um. So let me say this. Some women, yeah, they are doing it. Wait, say the question again because I done got
Okay, let me give you the
all up in
question
another
again.
spot.
That's fine. For those that are newly single or have
Hmm.
been single now for several years, are we really spending our single time wisely?
Yeah, this is a good one. I get a lot of ladies that are like, well, I don't really have friends, or I don't really go out, or I'm a homebody, and I'm not. My dating life is non-existent, and I'm just sitting here like, what are you doing? Because if the only reason you go outside is to potentially meet a man, you're already doing it wrong. One of the things that I've had to learn is how to live my life for me. And I'm also a divorcee. So I know what it's like to go through, a very traumatic marriage, have to heal from that, go to therapy, pick myself back up, rewrite my story, and then start walking that story out, right? So I know what that all looks like. I've seen the worst of the worst when it's come to love. But one thing that you have to do, you have to get to a place where it's like, okay, what do I want my life to look like? And the one thing that I did, and you can do this at any point in your life, honestly, I feel like I'm about to do it again. Take out a white piece of paper and look at it like a blank canvas and say, okay, I know what my life looks like right now, but what do I want it to look like moving forward? And literally start writing those things down. Do you want to travel? Do you want to be more social? Do you want to find more friends? Do you want to pick up a new hobby? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to gain weight? Because there's some women that they want to start working on, they want to gain weight, right?
Mhm.
Do you want to have children? Do you want to adopt? Do you want to get a pet? Like, start thinking about what it is that you want to do. And then also, the most important thing, go back to that place where you put your purpose down.
Mm.
Because a lot of times, why we are unfulfilled as single people is because we don't have our purpose in line, and we're just out here winging it, or we have found our identity in our relationship status. So because we see everyone else getting married or having kids and doing all of that, we feel like, oh, we just have to focus on getting that part of our life right. And it's like, what else are you going to have to do? What else? Go ahead.
Listen, let me tell you, this is why she had to come on Damn Shame Podcast. I'm telling you, I would listen to her during the day, at night, whenever she went live. I'm like, oh shit, she's live. Let me tap in. But what you just said is so profound. As a single person, we are to go back to where we put our purpose down. That's a drop the mic moment right there because it's so important in identifying who we are. A lot of times we've had those relationships where we've been broken and where we've had trauma and all of that, and we lost ourselves and we lost our purpose. We lost our being. We can't find our way to even sometimes get our heads up off the pillow. Okay, we got a comment. Y'all get in them comments if y'all like that right there.
Right.
Come
This
on,
is
Nightlight.
this is coming from because I'm normally right. She said this is great advice for mothers and wives because we can lose ourselves serving our families. And she loves this advice.
Yes, yes, yes. So often do we lose ourselves in our everyday lives or in those relationships or in our kids, in our careers. And it is important to pour back. What I've heard Jennifer say as a life coach, we have to pour back into ourselves, really write down things that we want to have happen in our life and begin to, it says, write your vision and make it plain. That's what we need to do. And so you touched on this a little bit, and it's a great segue into the next question about healing from our past traumas. Like we've had um, trauma from relationships, trauma from childhood, things that have happened to us, even in adult, in our adult lives. We've had trauma, and that has impacted how we move and shake and be in a relationship, right? But how do we deal with that, and how do we handle those triggers that may come up because of our trauma?
That's a great question. And this is something that I have heavily focused on since 2020. And it's a major part of my second book, Pressure. Mainly because one of the things that I had to do was I had to go back and heal my attachment that started from birth. And I didn't realize that the attachment that you create with your family and your loved ones, literally from birth, writes out the history of your attachments going forward. And I had never heard of attachment styles or, that theory. So my therapist took me through and had me read a book and to literally find out where my attachment style was. And I found out that I attached to people because I had dealt with abandonment. And I found out that I attached to guys because I dealt with rejection. And I would anxiously attach to them because I was afraid that I was going to lose them because people have left me. So I had to learn, oh, that's not the right way to do this. So what my therapist took me through was, one, finding myself again and getting to the root of that and forgiving anybody in my past that I needed to forgive, mainly forgiving myself, right? For what I allowed when I became an adult. And then also, sometimes you got to forgive people in your family because, and here's another thing, like our parents did the best that they could with us. And also your parents did what they were shown from their parents, right? So sometimes you got to go deep and dig down into what's this generational curse that's happening here?
Yeah.
What's going on in my bloodline that this is something that is a recurring thing? And then you have to make a decision where it's going to stop. So I had to make a decision that it was going to stop with me. So I took a good amount of time and I'm still working through it even till this day, because like you said, we have triggers, right? So when those triggers come up and I'm dating someone, even if I like them, that's practice for me to say, oh, I really liked you, but I like me a little bit better, to remind myself, I like me a little bit better. I like the fact that, this is everything that I have going on. And even if you walk away, you don't take anything from me.
Mm.
Everything that I am, the person that God has made me to be, I take all of that with me. And a lot of times we feel like we lose something when people walk away from us. You don't. And that's why you got to dig into your identity. You got to get in God's face and let him show you who you are, because then you're going to put yourself, and not in a cocky way, but in a confident way. You're going to put yourself on a pedestal, and you're going to know, well, it's a privilege to be with me. And if this person thinks that I'm not the best fit for them, that's fine, because guess what? I done got to a place where I'm so healed that I know that you're not the best fit for me either. And then you walk away, you dust on your feet, and you move right along. So it's so important to do that dirty work, that hard work of doing that introspection and looking down. Where was the first time I got my heart broken? Who was that? When was the first time I felt like somebody left me? When's the first time somebody rejected me? Let me start forgiving these people and releasing them into my forgiveness, because they've been holding me back for a little bit too long.
Let me tell y'all something. This is just so good. It's so good and it's so necessary. I mean, you touched on so many things just in that thing. Attachment styles. I didn't know that that was a thing, but that's why we're here in the VIP lounge of Damn Shame Podcast, to learn the new, okay? Attachment styles. So we got to go back and look at what happened to us and relate that to our childhood or past relationships, situationships, whatever. It's about self-reflecting, if I hear you correctly, and learning what happened as a child that really has shaped me for how I act today. I know you said that you had abandonment things going on with you, right? I
Yeah.
think if I had to initially surface level reflect, mine was to please people, to always say yes, to make everybody happy, to make everybody around me feel good. But in the spirit of me doing that, I'm drowning. I'm completely sinking. And I'm like, I'm smiling, I'm showing up. Oh, yeah. I'm your biggest cheerleader. Yes, yes, yes. But I'm losing. It's like taking away little pieces of me until it's damn near nothing left. And that's a damn shame.
Okay.
It is. It is, but it's real. So we got to really look at what, and I don't know whether that's an exercise to look at, but just, I initially thought about it like, well, wait a minute, what about me as a child? So For me, it was making sure that everybody was happy. Everybody was in their individual places. And as an adult, I still do that right now, making sure that everybody is good. Everybody, and I do it a little more with intention about putting me first,
Okay.
carving out some time for me first because I've had those traumas and I put in the work through counseling and all of that, like you said. And that's so very, y'all, get in them comments if y'all think that this is so good. Come on, Nightlife, what do you hear?
This was from Blessed Queen 77. She made a good one, a good comment. Find your purpose and God will do the rest.
That's so amazing. That is so good. Find your purpose and God will do the rest. That's so true.
I'm
I
going to
mean,
get.
and it's so necessary. It really, really is.
I'm going to read
And
some comments out in the Facebook and YouTube. King Buddha said, "Very important to know you first and foremost."
Hmm.
And
okay,
Terrence Scott said, "Can't allow the past to interfere with the present. That's the number one relationship killer." Which
yeah,
I had
yes.
to come back and say that's facts. So keep those comments coming.
And there's one more from Madam Butterfly 13. She says, I need therapy.
Woo. We all need therapy, and please don't think. I don't know whether you are a color person, a person of color, but what I will say is that traditionally, we were raised to sweep stuff under the rug, or send the children down south and not talk about it, or put them, in a room and not talk about it. But now we know we need therapy. We know that mental health is real. We know that, it's very necessary to, no, we want to talk about this thing because I got to get my healing by any means necessary. I have to protect my peace. So go to
Hmm.
therapy. Find one. Hit us up if you need help finding one. We will have Single Lady Notes. That's what she specializes in. She's a life coach. She'll be able to help you. Now, you hit me up, I'm gonna say, listen, homegirl, we're gonna be crying together, okay? But we'll call Jennifer of Single Lady Notes, and she'll get us the help we need. But therapy is so very necessary, so very important. And we, producer lady of the Damn Shame podcast, she always talks about we go to the doctors to get our physical health checked out. We need to go get our mental health checked out. It's just as important. So I love the discussions. Y'all keep the comments coming. IG, we got Instagram and Facebook over here, and we got the comments popping over there, and they're reading them. So if we get a little silent and you hear a little something, that's what they're reading over there. But this is just so good. I mean, so so good. Um, how do we avoid the triggers? Like, because we've identified what we need, the help that we need. I really want to hear some tools about when there's a trigger. Like, how do I not pop off? Like, remember when you said 10 years ago? Like, how do I not get to that person anymore, Jennifer?
Oh, that's such a good question because, baby, I was that girl. And I talk a little bit about her in my first book. And I was Queen Pop Off. When something was going on with my friends, they calling me, Jude, what's up? Let's go see him. Right. And this is many, many moons ago. I'm a changed woman. But even as an adult now, people will still try you, even in relationships. You get into conversations that are a little sticky. Things will still try you. And you will feel like, okay, I'm about to go to that place that I'm not trying to go. So
Hmm.
it comes one with practice. Let me back up. One, it comes with prayer because that's where it started for me. I had to ask God to change me. And that's a real thing. Like, God, change me from the inside out. Make my heart look like yours. Give me your perspective. Show me how I'm supposed to love your people. Let me see your people the way you see them. Give me more grace for your people. Give me more grace for myself. Give me the fruits of the spirit because I need patience like no other. Right? So starts with prayer. That was the first thing for me. I had to let God strip me of the woman that I used to be. It, I'm gonna call her Patty Popoff. I had to let God strip me of her first and foremost. And then it comes with practice. It comes with being intentional, and it comes with you having to make a choice. Because when people try you or those triggers arise, you have a decision to make.
Yeah.
And each decision is going to lead to the next step of your destiny. And I always feel like, even when, because I believe in deliverance too. And I always feel like deliverance from something that's holding you back is for the decided. So when you are put in those situations, you need to say, okay, I'm faced with something right now where I have to make a decision where I could go left or I could go right.
Yeah.
And you give yourself a minute when you become mature enough, right? And God has really done a work in you, and you have like started surrounding yourself with more people doing that self-development to become a better person. You will take a pause and you will say, before I do something, let me take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Let me think this through. And then let me turn the other way. And there have been times where I have turned the other cheek, and I was just so proud of myself.
Yeah.
So proud of myself. And each time that you show yourself that you're not who you used to be, you truly aren't that person anymore, you'll keep striving to be that person, because that person feels good.
Yeah.
That person looks good. That person is that's somebody that's a role model, right? And then I also think about, one day I'm gonna be a mother. What kind of role model am I going to be for her? So when you're thinking about those triggers and different things that come up, make sure that you give yourself a minute to say, let me make a decision about my next move before I just react.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I literally had to bite my tongue. I am biting my tongue because I want to know how I'm showing up. Now that I'm in my womanhood, in my grown womanhood, I want to make sure that I'm showing up the best version of me. In my mind, I might be calling you all sorts of summer jammers, okay? But how am I showing up? And I literally have to bite my tongue to not have those triggers come out again where I am popping off. Nightlife has another comment. Come on here.
This one is from Robert. I am the legend Turner. He may not change the situation, but change you within the situation.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Absolutely.
Really
So, tonight we're talking about how we navigate in our singleness and all of that. Let's talk more about self-esteem. Self-esteem is so important. And sometimes, we've been out the game for so long. We feel like, we just don't have the it factor. Like my father used to say, my get up and go done got up and went, right? But how do we find that person again? How do we find her, or how do we find him again, so that we can, get out there and be ready for what's next?
So that's a really good question, because I think a lot of people, women specifically, we deal with social media and the standard of beauty that social media puts out there, as far as your face, your hair, your makeup, your lips, how you, and now they're doing dimples on people. I mean, the liposuction, the booty, and there's nothing wrong with enhancing yourself, right? Because I might get me a little filler when I start getting a little older too. Okay. So no judgment, but we have to deal with seeing that on a day-to-day basis. And it's easy to start comparing yourself, because this person may have gotten this many likes, or they have all these men in their comments, and it can make you feel like you're inadequate if you're not getting that same response on social media, right? So the first thing is you have to find what makes you you. And I think about it like this: no matter what other woman you may encounter, you're never going to encounter another me. And you have to start looking at yourself that way. I don't look like no other woman. I don't act like no other woman. I don't smell like another woman. I don't have the mindset of that other woman. She don't have my spirit. And not that I'm better than her. I just know that I'm unique in my own right. So I'm not going to compare myself to somebody that can never be me, and I can never be her, right?
Right.
So that's one of the first things. And then also too, it's okay to enhance yourself. So if you want to try out a new hairstyle, try that hairstyle out. If somebody had a hairstyle and you thought it looked good on them, see if it looks good on you. Y'all know I'm forever changing my wig. And I have no qualms about it, because I love when I change my hair, because it changes my face a little bit. Right? If you want to start getting into makeup, start watching the girls on TikTok. The girls on TikTok are giving us all the makeup game for free. For free. Okay. Start doing your makeup. One thing that I can say, and I love your red lip. When I put on a red lip, honey, you can't tell me nothing. It's
Can't tell.
something about
No.
that red. It's something about that red lip that just brings me like, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm that girl right now. You can't touch me, right? So find the things that make you feel confident. Find the clothes that make you feel confident. I remember telling my audience because, I used to be a cheerleader and I was like 135 pounds. That was many, many moons ago. I am 35 now. I have my grown woman weight. And as my grown woman weight kept coming in, I started to feel a little self conscious. And I was like, I don't know if I really like this. But then I was like, Jennifer, get rid of them clothes and go buy some clothes that you feel good in. Start looking at some other girls that are your size and how they dress themselves and get some inspiration for yourself.
That is so
So
good.
so now I put on the clothes that fit me, for one. Two, I found out the things that make me feel good when I get dressed up and I put myself together, right? I've made certain enhancements to myself, like I get my lashes done, I get my eyebrows done, and guess what? I can have none of this, and I'm still gonna feel like I'm that girl, okay? Because
That's
the most important thing that I've done was I've learned how to love who's on the inside of me. That's the most important thing. I have looked at, what does my character look like? What does my heart look like? How do I treat people? How do I show up for people? Who's around me? What is my circle like? Because the people around you are a reflection of you, and I have some amazing people around me,
yeah.
right? So those are some things that build my self-esteem and keeps my self-esteem going. Like, I have a thing right now too. When I'm getting ready to go out the house, if I don't feel confident, I'm switching it up until I am confident, because you show up the way that you feel. So
Yes.
those are just a few things that I would say to do to help boost that self-esteem.
Yes, that is so good. That is so good. And it's all tips that we can really apply in our everyday lives. Like Jennifer said, when we get dressed, I mean, we might put on something and it's like, nah, this ain't the vibe I'm supposed to be giving. Man, let me find something else. If you had time or whatever, I constantly switch my style up. And so, you create that vibe for yourself that you want to be comfortable in, and go and be that girl or be that guy. Come on,
Okay.
nightlife.
All right. So Kia Sexy said, yes, this is good stuff. AW318 says, also when those compliments come, make sure you hear those compliments and accept the compliments.
Yeah, that's so good, A-Dub. That is so good. A-Dub is a veteran VIP on Dame Shane podcast, but that is so good because I will hear, oh, KiKi, you're so beautiful and you cute. And if I ain't really feeling it, if I'm not feeling myself, it's like I can't even receive that.
A-Dub also came through with, she heard Kiki's friends are beautiful.
Oh, Lord. Jennifer got some beautiful friends as well. Everybody in the VIP lounge, we quite sexy. Did y'all order y'all cocktails and mocktails? Come on now. Cheers, Jennifer. Mm. I'm telling you, get in those comments if y'all like it. Put us some hearts down. Be sure to hit that follow button, please, on Single Lady Notes and Damn Shame Podcast. Y'all, this is so good, so good. So now that we've done the work, right? And we know our value, we worked on our self-esteem, and we are ready to get back into the market of dating and ultimately find a relationship. And if for those that want to be married again or be married, period, whatever it is, how do we like transition out of our singleness to avail ourselves for the desire to want more?
So the first thing, you need to know exactly what you want. Let's start there. Because
Mm.
a lot of times we're doing the work, where we feel good about ourselves again, but we may not have really made a vision for what it is that we want in a man. And back in September, I took my community on a journey, and I was like, look, let's write the vision for our future mate. And we wrote out everything. It was about maybe 10 to 15 categories that we made specific things that we wanted. Nothing that was outlandish, but like things that we desire. Do you desire to have children? Do you desire to travel with your children? How do you want his temperament to be? What are things that you guys are going to do? What side of the map do you want to live on? Like all different kinds of things. What is it that you want in that ideal mate, right? And then when you get out there and you put yourself out there, whether it's online dating, whether it's social media, because people are meeting on social media now.
Yes, they are.
People that all the people that saying that boy be in my DMs said I'm pretty and that's how they found each other. It's
It's
a lot of them going on. Okay. So don't ignore all your DMs because I've even another story for another day. But it
That's
definitely
story
goes.
time.
Listen, it definitely goes down in the DMs, right? So when you get out there and you're interacting with men and you're meeting men, if you have that blueprint in your mind, like the main thing you need to keep in the forefront is your non-negotiables. That's the main thing. Because if somebody isn't meeting what it is that you want, like those top 3 to 5 things, like for instance, well, some of mine are you have to be a believer. I'm not dating outside of my belief. You have to be someone, I ain't saying all of them because I don't know who's watching this, but just things like that, right? So once I see somebody doesn't line up with what my non-negotiables are, I'm already like, oh, okay, well, this was fun. It was nice to meet you. We can remain cool, but I'm not going to pursue this further. Once you
Mhm.
know what you want and you're not willing to compromise on it, then I feel like you're ready to go out there. But if you're still dating from a place of desperation, or you just want some company, you just want that itch scratch or whatever it is, you're going to find yourself repeating the same cycle that you thought that you were healed from. So even when I was in therapy, I was like, how do I know when I'm going to be ready to date again? This is the first time I had gone through dealing with someone who had, narcissistic traits. I'm not going to say he was a narcissist, but he had the traits, right? And the emotional abuse, the mental abuse. That was my first time ever experiencing something so severe like that. And I'm like, how do I know when I'm ready to get back out here? Because I am scared.
Yeah.
So the beautiful thing is that he said, once you get out there, once you get out there, look at what you're still tolerating. And when I found that I wasn't still tolerating the same things and I wasn't ignoring the red flags and I wasn't attaching to people and I wasn't scared for somebody to walk away from me, I said, oh, baby, you back in the game.
This is so good. It is so good. Identifying your non negotiables, writing it down. Jennifer started out saying, take a piece of paper out and write down what you want. I was asked, and it's something so simple. What do you want from a man? What y'all really want from a, like, what do you really want? And it took me a minute to really think about that and be able to verbalize what I want. And then the next phase of that is, what are my non-negotiables? What am I not settling for? That's so good. Come on, Nightlife.
Madam Butterfly said to have realistic expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Robert I Am Legend said red flags are key essentials. And Daily with Mick, this is really good.
It's so good, y'all. It is so good. I'm telling y'all, I am so happy that my new VIPs, my old VIPs are getting a chance to experience Jennifer and all of the wisdom that she is departing. I mean, I'm taking notes as I'm reading the questions. She already done answered a lot of them, but this is just so good and so necessary. And so as we get out there and we want to transition out of this singlehood, I heard you say, like, when we go out, like, I guess this leads into the next question. For those that, haven't been going out and we've been out of the dating game for so long, like, what are some tips to kind of get back in there, to get started? You said write the list, make it clear, talk about your non-negotiables. Okay, but are we going on dating sites? Should we start there? Are we going to go to church and meet them there? Are we gonna, where are we meeting these good people? In the grocery store?
So I think the first thing is you need to establish just how you live your life, right? So I started meeting people when I started having a life for me. And I didn't wait on people to go out places. I started taking myself out, finding out the different hot spots in your city. If you're not a club person, and I don't recommend meeting a man in a club anyway, although, there's success stories, but find out where the lounges are, find out where the live music is, find out where the carnivals and the festivals and the things that you like to do, find out where they are. You might meet them in your favorite grocery store. Me personally, I like to order my groceries, get them to my door. So if it's not my Instacart delivery, I'm probably not gonna meet them in the grocery store, right? But I like to take myself out often, and I sit either at a bar or at a table by myself, and I guarantee you, it is not a time that I go out by myself and I'm sitting by myself and I don't meet somebody, even if it's not a romantic connection. I meet someone that I didn't know before, and I have a conversation with them. And let me tell you the beauty about that, it builds up your conversation skills when you're first getting back out there. Then you won't be as nervous. So when a guy does come and approach you, you won't be fumbling over your words and getting all nervous and breaking a sweat because you've already learned the art of conversation, which is something that I actually teach, right? So that's one thing. Also traveling. Start traveling. You'll be surprised who you may meet on a different island. I've seen some girls go to Jamaica and get their groove back. Okay, you never know who. And I've seen some girls. We went to DR, and they met, like, the one girl that I'm thinking about specifically. She's still with that man, and it's been like over a year,
Wow.
and they have a great relationship. So traveling, going and doing things that you like to do. You might like museums. You might meet him at a museum. You might meet them at the farmers market because you like fresh vegetables. You might meet them at a painting class because you like to paint. Figure out what you like to do and then go to those places. You might meet them at a conference. It can be a Christian conference, a business conference, self-development conference, a woman's conference. Well, not a woman's conference. Let me take it back. Look, unless you're a man and you serving.
Listen, we got some VIPs that, men's conference, women's listen.
Unless you're a man and you're serving at the conference, that don't apply to you. But anywho, you go to places that people that are like you would be, and that's how you start building those connections. And then I'm an online dater. I'm here for it. My mom met her husband online. My cousin met her husband online. They have great, healthy, long, like years in the game relationships. And the one thing that I can say for people, because I know some people are like, I'm not getting online. It's ghetto. I'm not doing it. I say this all the time. If you want to have better connections on online dating platforms, you have to pay to play.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Let me tell you, you have deposited so many nuggets in just what you said. And the first that resonates well with me is that start living. You start doing what serves you first. And that's key, putting you first, because so often do we move and shake and try to navigate thinking about, well, oh, I'm gonna go to this football game because I know the men be here, or I'm gonna go over here to the grocery store, the Wegmans, and because I know I'm gonna see a female in the produce aisle. Like I just think that this is so good, doing what serves you first and being happy and comfortable in that arena, and then knowing that organically it's going to happen. Nightlife, you had some comments.
Had quite a few comments. Kia Sexy said social media has given people the access, to connect with people that you wouldn't necessarily connect with. She said, so go ahead and approach them now. Just pull up in the DM. Okay. The next one is A-Dub mentioned that she never meets people when she's with others. And that's a fact. When you are alone, men are less apprehensive. Okay. Madam Butterfly, she met her boo on IG Live. And Kia Sexy wants to know, do you think it can work if you meet someone at a bar or a club? What's your thoughts?
I think that, as Jennifer said, it's not recommended to go there because that's kind of like the melting pot to thoughtism. Like, no, I don't know. I just think that it doesn't lend to really having a good conversation. You got the music on, people bumping up against you. They trying to, unless you can kind of steal away and get in a quiet or a space that's just for y'all and you can hear one another, then but initially making that initial contact, I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm not some dudes in them.
So they say keep dropping those jewels, Jen.
Yes. What were you gonna say?
Let me add on to what you were gonna say. It also depends on what kind of party you meet them at, because they do have like the older clubs that are like a certain age level and they're playing different music. People are actually in there dancing and having a good time. It's not ratchet, right? You may meet someone there. Because you may meet someone that's just going out to celebrate a birthday. They're not always out in the club, but they're celebrating something, and you guys have that first interaction, and something grows from it, right? And when it comes to the bar, because I'm a solo eater, I eat out by myself all the time. I think that you can meet a plethora of people at the bar. I think it's realistic, but I think the best thing is to always go in with the mindset that I'm meeting somebody I don't know, and I don't know what the outcome's going to be. And don't attach yourself to what the outcome's going to be. Just say, okay, who is this person? Let me get to know them, see, have a little bit of conversation first, and then see what happens. Because you're not attached to them just because you gave them your phone number or y'all had y'all met somewhere. As soon as you want to go, you can go.
Yes.
Hey, can I jump in there and share some comments that we have on Facebook and YouTube?
Yeah.
Terrence Scott says that first, don't create this unicorn of a mate and only look for that. He says he sees that happen a lot with folks, that they look for the unicorn, the one that can do all and be all. And so he's saying, what advice can you give people that do that?
So IG, what they're saying over in YouTube and Facebook is that you don't create this unicorn man or mate in your mind and then go looking for that. Don't do that. And what else, producer lady?
And Mia Young says yes, she agrees about being out there by yourself. She said it's less intimidating for a man to approach you when you're by yourself than with a group of girlfriends.
Yeah. So Facebook and YouTube is agreeing with IG that it is okay to be alone, out, eating and dining alone, or just at a lounge alone, because it's less intimidating for a man to come and approach you, or a woman to come and approach you when you're not amongst a whole group of people. So I feel them, and thank y'all so much for being in those comments on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. We have a question that came through on IG.
Okay, Kia wants to know, could you deal with a guy that goes out a lot, and can you be mad if they keep going out if you all begin a relationship?
You want me to answer?
Yes. So I hope y'all heard it. I hope you all heard it. Go ahead.
So when you first met him, my thing is you would have had to seen him going out a lot before y'all got into the relationship. If this is something that is new and he wasn't like that in the beginning, I would have a conversation with him, because what's changed? What are you seeking outside of your home, outside of yourself, that you're going out at this rapid rate? But if this is something that you already knew from the beginning, you set yourself up for that, because you already saw what type of man he was. And if you committed to that, you accepted that came with it. And if you went in thinking that, oh, well, maybe he won't go out as much once we get in a relationship because he's going to spend his time with me, that was the wrong mindset to have, right? Because that man is not obligated to change anything. He presented to you who he was, right? But again, to backtrack, if this is something that is new, I would do a little bit more digging. Number one, I would do some praying. God, what's up? Why is he out here like this? Because God, if you ask God, he'll tell you everything that you need to know. He definitely protects his daughters in relationships. He protects me. Like, when I tell y'all, all I got to say is, hey, God, what about him? Oh, okay. And you're out of here. Okay. So ask God, ask him, and see what's going on. But if this is who he showed you, that's who he is.
Yeah. And I always do that. Pray to God, and I'm like, God, is this the right one? Should they be in this space? And if they're not for me, then please remove them. And he does it instantly. But you have to avail yourself to be ready for whatever God wants now. You can't just put it out there and be mad at God when he give it. Nah, God, you making excuses for him or making excuses for her. You can't do that to really massage God into giving you what you want. No, it don't work like that. So if you ask the question, be able to handle the answer or the response from God. That is so good. So I know we are coming up on the hour mark. We got just a little more time with Jennifer, but I want to take the questions to the next level. All right, we're dating, right? We're going out. We kind of, moving into a relationship. And the old thing, we used to wait and have the 90-day rule. At what point can I be able to test the waters with this man, or when the man is ready? At what point can he pursue the woman and take that thing to the next level, like have sex? Really.
All right. So I know that this is a audience of different perspectives,
Yes.
right? So your body, your choice. That's first and foremost. I can't tell nobody what to do with your body, but you're looking at a woman who waited and was proposed to once and didn't have to give up nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking a beautiful proposal, beautiful ring. You know, we met in church, all of the things. This was back in 2013. Things didn't work out and we didn't get married. But nonetheless, I say all that to say you don't have to give up anything to get to where a relationship is continually progressing. And then you're also looking at a woman who did get married and we didn't have sex until we were married. So I am of the perspective, and this is because I'm a believer, and let me just put this out there too in all transparency. I have abstained and I have not abstained, and I have waited and I have not waited.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it's wise for you, one, to just wait. Just wait. If you don't know if this person is going to be with you forever, why do they deserve to have access to your body? Why do they deserve to have access to your soul? Do you know if you know what that man is carrying? Not even just in his medical report, but in his spirit, because you won't take all of that in too, right? And vice versa. Do you know what she's got going on? Do you know if because you might be sitting here chilling one day and you're like, dang, everything was going good, but now I'm starting to feel depressed. And it's after you've had sex with this individual, but that spirit has transferred onto you because spirits transfer. So
Yeah.
I am of the mindset, again, your body, your choice, but do things responsibly, do things with wisdom. Don't do things out of being desperate. You feel like you have to do it, right? Get tested, use condoms, educate yourself, hold yourself accountable, ask all the questions, but most importantly, coming from me, just wait on God, because you can. And a lot of people be like, oh, what if I get married and it's not good? Come on, y'all. we've got to get
Well, that's
mature
where I'm
enough
at.
to
Now,
know.
Jennifer, now, I know you are saying what God will want us to do. But
Hold on.
KiKi, she gotta know, she gotta test the waters now. I have to know that I know that I need to know, what is he working with? Is it good? If he is just sloppy and it's disgusting and he repulsed me, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, y'all. And I battle. I have conversations with God. He working on me. I ain't perfect. And I'll be like, Lord, come on now. Like, so it just comes down to, well, if he ain't the one, then just get him out my way. You know, just get him out my spirit. Get him out. And you're right, spirits do transfer. And you got to be careful who you invite into your most intimate space as a woman and even as a man. Like, really. But I struggle with that because I be needing to know. I got to do the dick test. I got to do everything. Like, I got to know.
Understandable, but let me say this too. If you're looking for long term, and I'm speaking to the people that want to be married, if you're looking long term, shouldn't you want more than just good sex? Like, do you not trust God enough to give you a man that is good in spirit, good in character, integrity, and not and good in sex? You don't trust God that he's going to make sure he covers that department too. You know what I'm saying? And that, I was challenged with that question years ago because I said the same thing. I was like, and my girlfriend, her name is Shantae. I was like, Shantae, well, wait a minute. So how am I supposed to know if she was like, you don't trust God enough to make sure that he covers that area too? And then it dawned on me too. Is sex that important to me? Have I made it so important that if I don't get that person's not worthy of being married to me or being in a relationship with me? Do they not bring anything else to the table that is worthy of me being with them? So it made me start looking at things like, if this man became paralyzed and we were married and in sickness and health, is there anything left that if the sex was taken off the table, I could still be with him? Can I still be with him? Is he still valuable? So we got to think about those things.
Them paralyzed men can still get it up, though.
Yeah.
I might be speaking from experience. I don't know. Nightlife, come on.
Pray, grind, and bless says this topic is so on point.
I love it. Shout out to the disabled, because listen, the girl shows love to everybody. God say love everybody. That's what we're gonna do here, okay? VIPs, I hope y'all are enjoying this conversation. I'm telling you, everybody need love, and that's just what it all boiled down to. But we have to tap in and into our spiritualities to know, hey, is this suitable for me? Is this really what God has ordained in my life? This is all so good. I could go on and on and on with so many more questions. I'm like, no, did I get that one answered? Did I get this one answered? Let me ask you this. I'm gonna hope that this is the final question. But how long? Okay, you've been dating this guy. Y'all have been in a relationship for a long time. You have made your intentions that I am in this relationship with the intent to be married. How long should I wait on the proposal?
So because I'm retiring from being the 90-day fiance, I'm going to say 6 months to a year. For me personally, give me a good 12 months. Give me a good 12 months, unless the Lord comes and tap me on my shoulder. He's like, no, baby, go ahead and solidify this in covenant now, right? But I think within 6 months, you've seen somebody at least through 2 seasons. You've seen y'all, and if you're dating intentionally, let me say that, because some of y'all ain't dating intentionally. Y'all just going out on dates, going home, chilling, watching TV. Y'all ain't asking no questions. Y'all ain't asking God nothing. Y'all just kicking it for a long time. But if you're intentionally dating, it doesn't take you long to figure out if that's the person that you should be with. So 6 to 12 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. You got to know him through every season. How is he acting during tax time? How is she acting in the summertime? Is she just out here fighting? Like, what are we doing? Where are you in the winter? Who you cuddled up with? Like, how are we maneuvering through all of these seasons? And so I would agree, especially if you have made your intentions known at the onset of, interacting with this person. Hey, I'm out here, I'm single, but if the right one comes, I want to be married. I want to be married again. Jennifer, when I was planning and prepping for this show, I have said in the past, we're in season 2. This is episode 5, season 2. But if you go back and on YouTube and look at some of the past shows, I would always say I'm happily divorced. I am happily divorced. And as I was preparing for this show, God kind of spoke to me and said, really? Are you happily divorced? Is that what we putting out here in these streets? And so I had to really check myself. I am divorced and I am healed. I have to change that perspective. I am divorced, but I'm finding my happiness. I am divorced, and so I can't say, yeah, I'm happy unless I think that someone can say that if they were being physically abused or mentally abused. But that wasn't the case for me. It was that we had an amicable agreement to just separate and ultimately end in divorce. It wasn't so egregious, that the things that I may have done to him or he had done to me. I wouldn't say that. It wasn't beyond repair because we're still friends. So it just God checked my spirit. Stop saying you happily divorced. I'm saying now I'm happily single. I'm happily
single. Or you can just say that you're happy.
I'm just happy.
I'm just happy.
I'm comfortable.
I'm confident. I'm secure.
That's it. That's it.
And I'm glad you.
Subconsciously, I was to put that connection, that adjective onto something like that. Really? Are you really? Or is that a defense mechanism? And that's what I had to kind of check myself. So I'll be having conversations. KiKi had conversations with us. This is just too much. All right, yeah, we're not gonna cut off. IG, if we do cut off, come back, okay? I think we do have a question in here. Somebody, oh no, they request to join. No, we can't accept any more in the live. But I had to really check myself with that because I'm just happy. I'm finding my way. I'm navigating through my singleness. I'm trying to live this healed life. I'm being intentional about where I am. I'm using the strategies that Jennifer has deposited in us today. And so I hope that you all have gleaned something from this. Don't wait. If you want to be married and the dude that you with or the woman that you with ain't giving you what you want after a year and 6 months, 3 years, it's time to move on and go after what you really want and get it. Get it. Avail yourself to get it. So that is not being afraid to step away from that person, separate from that person. Come on, Nightlife.
Jaren 410 says that for you all to subscribe to both, because he definitely is.
I know that's right, Jaren 410. Yes, subscribe to Single Lady Notes and Damn Shame Podcast. Please hit that follow button, hit that like button. Jennifer, any parting words?
Yes. So I live by a quote that says, the first step in changing your situation is changing your mind. And a college professor told me this many, many, many moons ago, and it has stuck with me. And it has been the one thing that has been like the guiding like voice in my head. If I don't like what's going on, I need to change how I'm thinking about it. I need to change my perspective about it. And I think that when we are women trying to find that space of being single and satisfied, a lot of times we're not talking to ourselves nicely enough. We're not thinking about the right things. And it's okay to have moments to feel your feelings, because if we're honest, we go through those moments where we feel like nobody's going to love us. When am I going to finally have the connection? When is it going to happen? And you can have those moments, but then you need to start edifying yourself and say, you know what? My set time is coming when it's coming. In the meantime, I'm going to love on me. I'm going to be happy. I am blessed. I have this going on in my life. I have that going on in my life. I'm going to pour into myself. I'm going to love on myself. I'm going to keep developing myself. And I'm going to think differently about what my current situation is. And I'm going to actually start thinking what I want it to be. I'm going to start dreaming and living in that space, because as a man thinketh, so it is, right? So that's what I want to leave you guys with. The first step in changing your situation to becoming satisfied and single is changing your perspective on it.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's so profound and it's so necessary. We have to take time to really change our mindset. I mean, what we've been conditioned to, whatever we have been seeing for so long and doing for so long, that is the case, and that's how we gotta operate, because it's always been. That's how I always did it. And no, you can make a change, and it's like small changes. Like Jennifer said, just writing down what you want, knowing what you want, putting it on paper, seeing it, reading it, believing it, embodying that, and then reflecting back on some of the things that have happened in our childhood that or trauma. It's not even necessarily trauma, just how we have been raised. Things that have happened and what we've been so conditioned to doing back in the day, because I did it when I was younger and now I'm doing it. But does it serve us now to continue to do it? Does it really serve us now? So, Jennifer, you have deposited so much. I'm telling you, y'all now see why I had to have her in the VIP lounge of Damn Shame Podcast. This thing was so necessary. I hope that this is not the last time that we get together and have this kind of talk, because it's organic conversations like this that are so necessary for everybody. Thank y'all for the hearts, the love, the likes. Be sure to subscribe. So my motivational thought is now that we have to do more relaxation, right? And in doing that, let's be kind to ourselves. Let's be gentle with ourselves. Let's show ourselves grace. And in order to relax, to really dive into this relaxation mindset, you have to carve out some me time. Be selfish about that thing. Whether it's an hour, whether it's a half hour, whether it's 15 minutes, whether it's a full day. Do what serves you best, because if you don't protect your peace, you ain't no good for anybody around you and anything that you want to do. So y'all, relaxation. Have more of it. Take care of yourself. Be intentional about what you want to do in life and where you want to go in life, and it will all work itself out. Keeping God at the helm. I mean, we cut up here, but we definitely know God, okay?
Okay.
So I hope y'all have enjoyed this. Producer lady, thank you so much. She has COVID, so y'all pray for her. And Nightlife is in the building with me as always. We are here not 2 Mondays from now. So what is that? March, I don't know, 17, something like that, 18, something like that. They're looking it up.
20th.
March 20th, right here, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Y'all, I hope y'all have enjoyed this conversation because I know I have. And follow my girl Jennifer Mason on Single Lady Notes, y'all. Even if you're a guy, DM her. Find out how you can get help. I know she can give you the resources on what you need and to be better in whatever we want to do now. Thank y'all so much. You're right. Red flags are key essentials. Look out for those red flags. Thank y'all for watching. I will see y'all next Monday. Now this month, what is it? Monday, March 20th. Okay, 2 weeks from now. Damn Shame Podcast. Ow, ow.